Punters, welcome back to the Punter Cave, and this is the second part of our trip to Kamloops. Do some free ride, shuttling, downhill, bike park. Don't worry if you haven't seen the first part, it wasn't really that good. I wouldn't worry about it. This is either going to be really distracting or cool. So we rode 4 areas in Kamloops. We headed back to Sun Peaks Bike Park, we shuttled this trail called Rio, we rode somewhere else, and then we also rode Harper. There's no footage of Harper because we got a little too free ride sendy the night before, and let's say I wasn't feeling great, but I want to go back there later on, and I'm sure there'll be videos from there in the future. So subscribe, I guess, if you want to see that one. Right, so step 1, oh wait, I can't punch in. Is that punch? This looks weird. Went back to Sun Peaks. There were still some trails that we hadn't done, and we really wanted to check it out. Plus, I had John and the most enduro friend of mine, Annie, along, as well as #Dan content. So after we did all the bike ground stuff, we camped overnight. This bike park, I'm pretty confident now, is my favorite in the entire world. The conditions are seemingly incredible all the time. Well, I mean, all the times I've been. So we headed up for our warm-up lap, which is Canada Line, which is kind of their blue jumpy trail thing. I mean, that's the technical description anyway. Ground was a lot firmer, things were running a bit faster, and it was generally a good time. There were still some wet bits, it had been raining, but compared to how it was on opening weekend, yeah, it really bedded in a lot more. But instead of doing full Canada Line, we cut off halfway down to go and ride Bermelade, and we hadn't ridden the top part of Bermelade last time, so we wanted to go and check it out. John said it was really good. Oh. Whoa! And at the start, there are some pretty nice jumps. They're really well made. I don't know why they didn't just carry that all the way down the trail, because these jumps are really good. If you're looking to step up your jumping from, you know, say Canada Line, and then like you're looking for maybe one step up, this bit of Bermelade has got a couple of really nice ones. The dirt was amazing. You might even say heroic, hero-like. And we wrapped up the first lap, and that was the warm-up done.
Oh, look at that gap.
Now, being from Squamish, all of us like to ride some steep trails.
Dan's faffing with his bike, look. Always faffing. Goes on at me.
So we wanted to go and find one of the downhill trails that we hadn't ridden last time. And we started with the really originally named DH trail. Now this was a single black. And actually, we should mention that maybe some peaks haven't got their trail grading quite right.
Did not ride this one last time. Oh, drop. Oh boy, spicy.
It seems like some of the double blacks and the single blacks, they don't really seem to kind of go in line. And DH was definitely a perfect example of that. Because this thing is just straight down. And it got pretty rough. And there were some definite bumps. And it was pretty slick after the rain.
Oh boy, grease.
At the time, I thought it was pretty steep, but now I look back and think about it, maybe it wasn't the steepest, but it's probably because there wasn't much grip on the ground compared to the last time I was there.
What is that? Got very quick, very fast, didn't it?
So after we'd done DH, we wanted to get back on the flow because I think everyone was a little bit woo because it was so spicy. But this guy here obviously thinks he's a local now at Sun Peaks and decided to take this cut line and got completely separated from everyone and in fact got lost as well.
Oh, whoops.
But as a secret bonus, I actually ended up on Sweet One, which was the only closed double black from when I was there last time. So I thought, oh, I can go and ride this one, bonus. So going back to what I said about DH being like as hard as a trail like Insanity 1, which is a double black, this Sweet One wasn't a double black at all. I couldn't really figure out why. It's definitely more of a trail bike trail. The downhill bike, you know, it's not really great when things get really flat like it was in here. I mean, there were a few wooden bridges, but I kind of found this trail a bit boring. So if you're going and you've only got like a day, you can give this one a miss. We went and found this trail that I rode last time, but I didn't put it in the video. It's called Arm Pump, single black technical trail. It's really good, but unfortunately the wind slayer got involved and created the tunnel vision that no one likes to see, especially me when I'm editing this video afterwards. But I did manage to capture this little bit of a traffic jam that we had going down.
Don't stop, nope. Sorry, Dan.
And it was all my fault because I forgot to warn John that that right-hand turn existed. I could have told him, but I forgot. Try this angle out. I don't know, don't like it. I like to put my hands on things. So wanting to tick off more of the black techie trails, we went and found this one called Sugar, which John tells me was like the original hard trail at some peaks when he went. He described it as many moons ago. It starts off a bit pedally, but then as you get through it, it does kind of get a little bit steeper and starts to head down a bit more. Definitely one for the enduro bike, say like a Ransom, maybe a Genius. Downhill bike, obviously okay, but I'm just saying which would be best. There was even a tree ride on there, and I never do tree rides. I normally skip them, but I saw John go over it, and he's like my line in the sand for, okay, if John does something, I should probably do it as well. And then I ended up actually doing it. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah! I did it skinny!
So we went down Sugar a bit more. It was pretty slick, pretty all over the place, a lot of fun. Definitely better on an enduro bike, I would say, than a big slack downhill bike like the Gambler. But then you come up to this amazing, like iconic mound thing that if you're really good, like Chris Kovarik actually has a video of him doing the thing where he goes up, slides around with his foot out, looks really cool. I can't do that, obviously. Maybe in the future, it'd be cool to put like a hip or something on this, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So we finished off Sugar, which had a few more ladder bridges, and the whole trail mellows off for sure, kind of halfway down. There's this cool wooden feature where you kind of jump up onto and then drop off the end. I wasn't really feeling it, neither was John or Annie. But luckily, #DanContent was there to show how it looked.
Beautiful.
Our favorite trail from last trip was Insanity 1. We lapped it a bunch and we were super keen to get back up there.
Oh my God! That was a big.
When we dropped in, immediately the bumps started. Way different to opening weekend. Clearly this has been ridden a whole bunch and things were getting pretty rough. But this fadeaway was so rough compared to last time and there was a lot of concentration needed.
What was that? That's a massive hole there now.
So rough.
I know.
Did that. I was like, oh yeah, and then she's like.
But with the dirt being so good, it was so much fun to ride. I even tried this little hop over the root thing.
Oh no! Whoa.
Which I muffed up a bit, needless to say, probably because I wasn't looking ahead enough and almost rode off the track. And we were going down Insanity 1 just to get to Smitty Steeps because it was so much fun the last time and we wanted to show Annie and John what it was like just to ride straight down in this rut.
There's a couple bits that caught me out last time. Dan's pedaled into it. Oh.
And there was definitely more of a rut this time. Last time it was maybe just this kind of trough, but now there's this whoop bit down in the middle. I don't know why, but for some reason, A, the tunnel vision came back, and B, my GoPro battery didn't last for as long as it did last time. So, unfortunately, this is where the Sun Peaks footage stops.
Here we go. Here we go.
I definitely rode this a little bit better than last time. You'll just have to take my word for it. I don't know why the GoPro battery didn't last as long as usual. I was gonna say I'm no expert, but I really should be at this point. Standing up angle, dynamic. So I'm probably gonna commit to this point and say that Sun Peaks is my favorite bike park out of all of them. Probably give it 7 out of 4 pineapples. So it's pretty good. Oh, buttery smooth. The next day, we wanted to go and check out this lap called Rio. It's pretty famous, and I'd never ridden it before. So we met up with this dude called Charles, or Charlie, that we know from Squamish, who lives in Kamloops now. Now the pedal to the start of this trail, it's quite long, especially when it's really hot, you have a downhill bike, and you have to wear a full face helmet that is black. But Annie didn't complain, so I have no excuses. I was really far for the back. A Ransom or a Genius would be perfect here. Maybe the days of riding this trail on a downhill bike probably not needed as much as it used to be. But who cares? We dropped in and this is the Kamloops style, in my opinion anyway. Just fast, not many 90-degree turns, and just flat out riding. Dusty ribbons of single track going through the trees, dust flying everywhere. Yeah, this is Kamloops. And it wouldn't be Kamloops if there wasn't some free ride thrown in. And there's the road gap. And Charlie was all good in sending that one. There was more flat out single track, and then we found a wooden drop into this kind of cool looking hip. And Charlie, well, it didn't go to plan.
Ooh, buddy. You okay? Ooh.
my God. How are you alive?
Yeah.
Just some dirt.
Too big. Should have cut my same cut again. Yeah, I could have gone way higher up.
But he was fine, just a small cut. And we dropped back into this gully trail that's this narrow single track that just weaves its way through this gorge. Nah, it's not a gorge, that'd be too big. You know what I mean. Gully, it's a gully. I just didn't want to say it twice. And it's just so cool to be kind of weaving from left to right, and all the turns and the corners are banked up onto the side. With the way the trees are coming over the top of you, and it's such a contrast to the desert that you were just riding. I imagine if you get this really down, you can go super fast down here. And after this narrow bit of single track, you pedal up a climb, and then you come back into the dust.
John content of John.
And then out of nowhere, there's just this really steep section. There's felt like it had about 20 different lines down it. And that was the hardest thing to figure out, is like, where do you actually go? But if I can just be a sponsor's dream for a moment, the Shimano Saints were amazing, gave me so much control. I could creep down here as slowly and have as much confidence as I liked. I could have probably gone and drunk a cup of tea while I was riding down this section. It did look pretty slippy as I rolled in, and then John pulled off to the side, but actually there was a ton of grip.
Which way? Just straight down? Okay. Oh God, I want to get in here. Yeah. Oh God. Oh no. Come on.
I almost had the slowest collision with Annie as she took a different line, but luckily we didn't hit each other or anything. And then we just carried on riding down this really steep. It did go, I'd actually forgotten how long this goes for. It's really steep. It's so crazy how it's just in the middle of the rest of this trail.
Where did that come from?
I
know.
Then you go back into that gully riding, single track, weaving in through the trees. And there's a bunch of jumps that just come out of you out of nowhere. And you really have to know that they're there if you want to start doing them. But I don't think I've ever ridden single track that tight. It was so cool, different experience. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Rio.
So tight.
I will give it pineapples. Yeah, go check it out. I kind of look a bit weird because of the widey. Who knows if I'm in focus? Canon R5 arrives in like a few weeks. This is all gonna be a thing of the past. Then that same afternoon, we went and rode somewhere else. I'm not gonna tell you where it is or locations or anything like that. I'm just gonna show you the trails. If you know where it is, don't show off and comment below where it is. Just keep it to yourself. Be happy enough that you know what this area is and you can probably go and ride it. But I really want to show it off because these trails are so unique to this area of Kamloops. Kind of like Rio, where it's just flat out. These were even more flat out. The only downer was that near the start of the trail were probably the biggest mosquitoes I've ever seen anywhere.
We can't stay around here forever. I don't think I've ever seen this many bugs.
What was so great about this zone is that the gradient is just mellow enough to help you carry and build your speed, but then there's no random 90-degree corner at the end to take it all away. So you can really develop flow and get into it. And it's just so much fun. You can see really far ahead, so you know what's coming up. And this was, everyone was having a great time. Me and John stopped on this little wooden jump that he made me do.
Huh? You are?
So we pushed back up, did it. It wasn't that big a deal in the end.
Yeah.
The flat out speed, I think, can be captured a little bit better if you have a GoPro on a gimbal. The way I had it on the chin mount, and I don't know what the stabilization is doing. Maybe it's a higher shutter speed that's not getting that motion blur enough, but it definitely looks a lot slower than it felt on the trail, that's for sure. And there was even more sending opportunities. There was this wooden booter road gap thing in a field with cows, and Charlie and Dan sent that no problem.
Oh, beauty.
More sending it flat out followed. And then, yeah, this is probably my regret of not doing something from the trip. This wooden drop jump thing, I was confused by it. John did it no problem, and he told me, you could do this, Punter, come on.
Oh, it feels too slow. Ah.
And I should have believed him, but I pedaled in after him again, and I just didn't feel confident. I was getting a bit fatigued. I think this was like day 6 of riding in a row, and even I don't ride that much, so I was kind of trying to keep it safe.
Oh no. Oh.
And as we finished off this first trail, the wind cover tunnel vision rears its ugly head again. But I just wanted to show you this little bit of the dustiest, steepest chute I think I've ever been down. I didn't clean it all the way down. Right at the end, we had to walk the last bit because it just seemed so nuts. I went back up for a second lap. Some of the others did another lap after me, but I actually had to edit last week's video in the van while that was happening. I was so excited to look at this footage, and when I saw that the wind cover tunnel vision had come back again. I've never had this happen so often. But I'll just pop myself up here in the corner and hopefully it doesn't ruin it that much. But this was the best feeling I've had in so long riding my bike. It's just flat out corners that you can just rail around no problem. And having the downhill bike on this stuff was amazing because it just charged. No! I just recorded a whole outro and it was missed. Those interested, Crashing Dad bought me a skateboard. It's all built up. Still far too scared to go and use it. Today, I'm gonna go out and start filming my next video, which is where I ride a pump track every day for a week. Hi everyone, Paul editing here. Something really bad happened yesterday. I started to film this pump track video. My bag, I guess, got misplaced when I left the pump track and now it's gone. I guess it's stolen or something else happened. I was only gone for like a few minutes there and it was pinched. So don't know what's gonna happen next week. I don't have my camera. Yeah, just wanted to tell you. That's why this video wasn't up at 8:15 as well. I'll keep people posted on Instagram or whatever if it does turn up. I hope it is just like one of those unfortunate mistakes. It's not looking like that right now. So anyway, let's do the rest of this outro. And if you enjoyed this video of some Kamloops shuttling, bike park, etc, etc, etc on the Gambler, then hit the like button to let me know that you did. But more importantly, watch it twice. Cheers punters, I'll see you next time. Oh good, I was actually recording that time.